Good afternoon, everyone. We are the Group 2 and we are assigned to report and discuss with you the Domain 2 or the learning environment and the Domain 3, which is the diversity of learners of the PPST. So first one, we have the Domain 2, the learning environment. When we say learning environment, it refers to the physical locations, context, or culture in which students learn. It can be also refers to the educational approach or physical setting in which the teaching and learning occur. So the domain 2 consists of 6 strands. Now the first one, we have the learner safety and security. As a teachers, we are expected to establish and exhibit effective strategies that ensure safe and secure learning environments to enhance learning through the consistent implementation of policies, guidelines, and procedures. Also, we are expected to apply comprehensive knowledge and act as a resource person for policies, guidelines, and procedures that relates to the implementation of safe and secure learning environments for our learners. The second strand is the fair learning environments. In these strands, we as teachers, we are expected to demonstrate understanding and maintain learning environments that promote fairness as well as respect and care to encourage learning. Moreover, as teachers, we are expected also to exhibit effective practices and facilitate the use of effective practices to foster learning environments that also promotes fairness to encourage learning. So the third strand is the management of classroom structure and activities. So as teachers, we are also expected to manage, work with our colleagues to model and share techniques or effective techniques in the management of classroom structure that encourage our learners in a meaningful exploration, discovery, and hands-on activities within a range of physical learning environments. Also, we as teachers, we also expected to lead our colleagues, to review and evaluate their practices that are essential for the management of classroom structure and activities. So the fourth strand is the support for learners' participation. As teacher, we maintain supportive learning environment that inspire and nurture learners to participate, to collaborate, and to cooperate, not for the continued learning. It also enables us to facilitate processes to review the effectiveness of the school learning environments that nurture and inspire learners' participation. It also allows us to work with our colleagues to share and model successful and effective strategies and practices that sustain a supportive learning environment. The fifth strand is the promotion of purposive learning. As teachers, we are expected to model and apply a range of successful strategies that maintain learning environments that motivate our learners or our students to work productively by assuming responsibility for their own learnings. It also allows us as teachers to support, to lead, and empower our colleagues in promoting learning environments that effectively motivates our students to achieve quality outcomes by assuming responsibility for their own learnings. The sixth and the last strand is the management of learner behavior. As teacher, we manage a learner's behavior constructively and exhibit effective and constructive behavior management skills by applying positive and non-violent discipline to ensure learning-focused environment. To sum it up, the Domain 2 or the learning environment, Domain 2 highlights the role of the teachers to provide learning environments that are safe, secure, fair, and supportive in order to promote learners' responsibility and achievements. This domain centers on creating an environment that is learning focused, in which teachers efficiently manage learners' behavior in a physical or in a virtual space. It also highlights the needs for teachers to utilize a range of resources and provide intellectually challenging and stimulating activities to encourage constructive classroom interactions geared towards the attainment of high standards of learning. The next domain that we will discuss is the domain 3, the diversity of learners, and it will be discussed with my fellow reporters.
Domain 3 of PPST, diversity of learners. So, this domain will emphasize the ideas that teachers can facilitate the learning process in a diverse classroom, considering the learning and thinking styles and also the exceptionalities of the students. It consists of 5 strands. The first strand is the learner's genders, needs, strengths, interests, and experiences. So, a teacher must encourage the learners to share their individual experiences, also consider their needs, their strengths, and interests in giving assessments in the learning process. The second strand is learners' linguistic, cultural, socioeconomic, and religious background. So the teacher also should consider his or her students in terms of their differences in culture and religion. So to integrate learning experiences to promote also student multicultural and cross-cultural awareness in a diverse classroom.
So the third strand on the domain number 3, or the diversity of learners, is the learners with disabilities, giftedness, and talents. So as a teacher, if you encountered students with disabilities or a gifted one, you must first learn how a gifted student thinks, so that you will know, or you will have an idea on how that student reacts or behave in class. Next is, you need to speak for their interest, and you need to focus on their strengths and not on their shortcomings. And it is important to offer opportunities that is consistent with their skills and abilities. So the next strand on the domain number 3 is the learners in difficult circumstances. So as a teacher, if your student has a behavioral problems at school, it is very important that these problems should be discussed with their parents. So as a teacher, you need to encourage the parents of the child to talk freely about their present lives and their previous lives, on how hard they live during that time. Also, their difficulties on educating their child, so that you may know what you can do as a teacher to help your student, as well as the parents to educate their child. So the fifth and final strand on the domain number 3 is the learners from indigenous groups. So when teaching all students, regardless on their cultural identifications, it is vital that the teaching strategies used are relevant and effective for the students. It is also important that the teachers have high expectations of students and create a positive view of the people within the classroom, as well as using specific strategies that may be effective in teaching indigenous students.